corner of York Street and Memorial Drive in Lindenville, real estate investor Ain Baker starts off his day by going to his office. He doesn't really have a permanent office. Baker purchases and flips properties for a living. He likes the variety.
One day I'm putting down floors, another day I'm putting up trim, another day I'm painting. So it's pretty much right through the whole apartment is what I do.
After powering up the tools, cutting pieces of wood, and nailing everything flush, it's time to unplug and power down at mid-afternoon in order to get his other job. In addition to managing properties, Baker also manages personalities. Baker is vice president of a team of dedicated volunteers that do their best to keep Kingdom Animal Shelter up and running. Whether it's mopping, feeding the cats, or doing laundry, Baker does it all. The number of unwanted and stray animals that show up at the shelter is overwhelming. The problem begins with pet owners who choose not to spay or neuter their animals.
I can't emphasize that enough because one cat having a litter every cycle, and all those cats not being spayed or neutered, having litters every cycle, can add up to thousands of cats in a matter of a couple of years.
Baker's connection and commitment to animals began when he had dogs and cats as pets while growing up as a child.
Just kind of progressed from there, but I knew that I would always have pets. I mean, how can you not have a home and not have pets in it? It's the greatest thing to come home and be greeted by a cat or a dog that absolutely loves you and is excited that you're home. There's no better feeling than that.
The Norwich Silent Drill Team did its part in celebration of welcoming home local soldiers. The idea formed the Senior Capstone Project for St. Johnsbury Academy senior Chelsea Toney.
Originally, she wanted to do this for the whole state of Vermont.
I expected to maybe raise $1,000, and then I get to 2, then I get to 6, and then I get to 12. So it was amazing.
$2,000 went to pay for the event, and the remaining $10,000 was given to the Vermont National Guard Charitable Foundation.
I wanted to donate most of the money I raised to the Charitable Foundation, which helps out all the soldiers and families in Vermont.
Help with financial trouble such as a leaky roof, broken hot water heaters, or even financial assistance. Toney says her inspiration for the event came from St. Johnsbury native 2nd Lieutenant Joey Fortin, who was killed in combat operations in Iraq in August of 2009. Since 2001, a total of 14 Vermont National Guardsmen have been killed overseas. In their latest deployment to Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan, 1,500 Vermonters provided security and patrols for the airbase.
When I was in Afghanistan, we were at Task Force Morgan, and we were a security force for Bagram Air Force Base. We're about a mile, well, no, we're about an hour or so out from Bagram, and we had a combat outpost there. For half the deployment, I was with the C Troop out of Lindenville as a squad leader, and we did a lot of missions out in the Parwan area, security missions and that kind of stuff out there, yeah.
Stuff like 283 firefights with Taliban and Al-Qaeda forces.
Yeah, we're busy.
Staff Sergeant Chris Haggett has now been to his 4th deployment to Afghanistan.
My wife is pretty happy, you know. I think she's ready for me to stop going. And she's pregnant now, so she's happy. This will be our 3rd child, and it'll be the first one that I'll actually be home for when it's born, so.
In all 1,500 Vermonters who went to Afghanistan in the latest rotation, 3 did not return. Their names will join 11 others on the Vermont Fallen Heroes Memorial in Colchester.
Unfortunately, we're going to add 3 more names to that wall this next year, and that wall is specifically dedicated to honor the service post 9/11 to soldiers killed in conflicts.
A price that's always on the line whenever citizen soldiers answer the call of duty. Evan Coughlin, News 7, St. Johnsbury.
In just 4 months, the Dead Dog Saloon could reopen. I'm Allison Floyd.
And I'm Tim McGinnis. Last week, the iconic Merle's Inlet Bar and Restaurant burned. News Channel 15's Lindsay Thies joins us live from the Marsh Walk. Lindsay, the owner, gave you an exclusive TV interview today. What did he tell you?
Yeah, Tim and Allison, you know, this time last week it was a completely different scene. They were celebrating Fat Tuesday in the Marshy Walk here at the Dead Dog Saloon where we're at. You know, now take a look behind me, completely different scene here. You can see the majority of the structure of the building, the roof's gone. A little bit back here on the right where the deck used to be, that's been completely bulldozed away. You got some dumpsters out here, and now coming back out and taking a look at the left, there are a couple of portables where I'm told most of the kitchen equipment has been salvaged and cleaned up. They'll keep that in storage until they reopen the Dead Dog Saloon, which they hope to be July 1st.
We are on a fast track. We have had such an outpouring of love and support from the community that, you know, I really feel a personal obligation to get this place reopened as fast as we can.
The Dead Dog Saloon would have celebrated its 10-year anniversary on May 8th. Instead of planning a party, their employees spent Wednesday demolishing debris.
And I'm just trying to move forward and think about the new Dead Dog, so I don't, you know, just break down and lose it.
The restaurant burned down last week, possibly from a cigarette in a trash can near a 280-year-old tree.
It's the live oak that it looks like we're going to lose, and this is where the deck level was coming out. So that live oak, that grew up through the deck.
Owner Charlie Campbell's message is simple.
We'll be back.
The new Dead Dog, he says, will ideally be up by July 1st.
Once we start the actual construction, we're looking at 90 days. So in a miracle, we might be here for the 4th of July boat parade, but that might be a little optimistic.
We're going to try to salvage as much of the old components as we can to weave it in so the old and the new are woven together.
Campbell will have to get construction and environmental permits from Georgetown County. They have until early April to get those permits if they want to stay on that July timeline. But he says he's determined.
A place like the Dead Dog, we're more than just a bar and restaurant. This place lives and breathes.
Back out here live at the Dead Dog Saloon in Merle's Inlet, you know, there were a lot of things that were lost in this fire that they just simply aren't going to be able to salvage. Of those 350 pictures that customers had brought in over the years of their own dogs, now are just simply left here in the ashes. Tim, Allison, back to you.
Thanks, Lindsay.